The laughter came before the insult, sharp and careless, slicing through the warm noise of the restaurant. Daniel Carter knew that sound too well. It was a sound his sister made when she felt bigger than him. Still just doing admin work? Melissa asked, smiling like it was a harmless joke. The table laughed, glasses clinked. Someone nodded like it made sense. Daniel smiled back, slow and practiced. The kind of smile he had learned to wear years ago. Calm, polite, safe. He didn't rush to answer, because rushing always made things worse. Yes, he said. Admin. The word hung there, small and plain, just how they liked it. The restaurant was one of those modern American places, soft lights, dark wood, quiet music, meant to feel expensive without trying too hard. It was their mother's birthday dinner, and the whole family had dressed like. This night mattered. Daniel had to. Clean suit, pressed shirt, nothing flashy. He liked to blend in. Melissa leaned back in her chair, pleased. She worked in corporate sales, talked fast, moved faster, and loved being noticed. Hey, someone has to do the schedules and emails, right? She added. Not everyone wants pressure. More laughter. Not cruel, not loud, casual, that kind. Hurt more. Daniel took a sip of water. He kept his eyes down for a moment, counting his breath. 1, 2. He didn't want this night to turn heavy. It never helped. Their father shifted, proud and distracted. Their mother smiled, already moving. The conversation back to Melissa's job, her projects, her future. Daniel didn't interrupt. Kay never did. Across the table sat Rachel. Rachel Thompson had known Daniel since they were teenagers. She had been there through awkward years, college stress, first jobs, first heartbreaks. Somewhere along the way, Daniel had fallen quietly in love with her, the kind of love that grows without asking permission. She watched him now, her expression gentle but confused, not judging, just wondering. He could see it in her eyes. Why are you still here? Rachel worked in nonprofit marketing, helping community programs grow. She believed in purpose, in impact, in speaking up. Sometimes she looked at Daniel like she wanted to shake him and say, "You deserve more." If only she knew. The waiter arrived, cheerful and fast, clearing plates and asking about dessert. Chocolate cake, cheesecake. Something with caramel and berries. Daniel barely heard him. His phone vibrated once in his pocket. Just once. Daniel didn't move. But his heartbeat changed. He recognized the timing, the signal. He excused himself silently inside his mind. Even though his body stayed still, Melissa was still talking, telling a story about a conference in Chicago, about networking and power lunches. Everyone listened. Daniel glanced down at the dessert menu but didn't read it. The phone vibrated again. He stood. "Excuse me?" Daniel said calmly. "I'll be right back." Melissa rolled her eyes. Admin emergency. A few smiles followed. Daniel didn't respond. He walked away without rushing, his back straight, his face unreadable. Rachel watched him go, a strange tightness forming. In her chest, the hallway to the private dining rooms was quiet, carpeted, dimly lit. Daniel stopped, pulled out his phone, and read the message. "They're here. Ready when you are, Mr. Carter?" He closed his eyes for half a second. This wasn't planned for tonight. Not like this. But timing didn't ask permission. He straightened his jacket and walked into the private room at the end of the hall. 3 people stood waiting. They greeted him with respect, with smiles that carried weight. With the kind of attention people didn't give to just admin, Daniel listened. He responded clearly. Decisions were confirmed, details finalized. Took minutes, not hours. He had done this 1,000 times. When he stepped back into the hallway, he paused. He could still turn around, still let this dinner stay small. Let Melissa have her moment. Let Rachel keep her questions. But something inside him shifted. Not anger, not pride, honesty. He walked back to the table. Dessert had arrived, plates arranged like artwork. Everyone was relaxed, mid-conversation. Melissa was laughing again, Then they noticed the people behind Daniel, the CEO of a major healthcare network, the board chair, a senior investor. The table went silent. Daniel Carter. The CEO asked warmly. Daniel nodded. Yes. We didn't mean to interrupt your family dinner, the man said, voice calm but clear. I just wanted to thank you personally for what you've done. Melissa blinked. Thank him. For what? The CEO smiled. For leading our operations. During the transition, without Daniel, the entire process would have failed. Forks stopped. Eyes widened. Daniel placed a hand lightly on the back of his chair, grounding himself. The board chair spoke next. Daniel oversees administrative strategy across our North American network. His role affects thousands of employees and patients. Every day. Rachel's breath caught. Melissa's smile faded. Admin, strategy. Daniel finally spoke. His voice wasn't loud, but it didn't need to be. I simplify my job because titles change how people listen. The CEO nodded. We'll let you enjoy dessert. Tomorrow's announcement will say enough. Congratulations, Daniel. They left as smoothly as they arrived. The silence afterward was different, heavy, thoughtful. No one laughed. Melissa stared at her plate. Their father cleared his throat. Their mother reached for Daniel's hand, eyes shining with pride and something like regret. Rachel stood slowly. Daniel, can we talk? He nodded as they stepped outside into the cool night air. The city hummed around them. Rachel looked at him like she was seeing him for the first time. I thought you were hiding because you didn't believe in yourself, she said softly. Daniel met her gaze. I was hiding because I didn't want to be loved for the wrong reason. She smiled, eyes wet. I wish you had trusted me. Daniel exhaled, the weight lifting at last. Inside, desert waited, and so did the truth. The day Emily Carter had imagined for nearly 2 decades began with a feeling she couldn't explain. It was supposed to be one of the happiest days of her life, her daughter's graduation day, but something sat heavy in her chest, like a quiet warning she didn't yet understand. Outside, the suburban street was already alive with neighbors loading cars. Balloons tied to mirrors, proud parents dressed just a little nicer than usual. Inside the Carter home, everything looked perfect. Yet nothing felt steady. Emily stood in the kitchen, smoothing the front of her soft blue dress. The color had taken her an hour to choose. She wanted to look proud, calm, like a mother who had done her job well. Lily was graduating today. That was what mattered. Emily reminded herself of that as she watched the coffee maker finish its slow drip, the sound too loud in the silence. From the hallway, she heard Mark moving around. His footsteps were sharp, restless. He came into the kitchen, adjusting his tie, eyes focused on his reflection in the microwave door. Mark had always cared about appearances. That was one of the things Emily had admired when they were young. It was also one of the things that had slowly pushed them apart. You ready? He asked, his voice flat. Almost, Emily said, forcing a smile. She searched his face for warmth, for shared excitement, but found only distance. He didn't notice. Or maybe he did and chose not to. Upstairs, Lily laughed as she talked on the phone with a friend, her joy bright and real. Emily closed her eyes for a second, letting that sound remind her why she had held everything together for so long. This day was for Lily. No matter what, the drive to the school was quiet. Mark kept both hands tight on the wheel, eyes straight ahead. Emily looked out the window at familiar streets, memories rising with every turn, bikes on sidewalks, late-night walks, years passing faster than she ever expected. She thought of all the moments that led to this one, the sacrifices that never made it into photo albums. The school auditorium was packed. Parents filled every seat, cameras ready, faces glowing with pride. Emily felt a rush of emotion as the graduates filed in, caps straight, gowns brushing the floor. When Lily appeared, Emily's breath caught. Her daughter looked confident, hopeful, ready for the world. Emily clapped until her hands hurt, tears blurring her vision. For a while, everything felt right. Names were called. Applause echoed. The future felt close enough to touch. When Lily crossed the stage and accepted her diploma, Emily stood without thinking, cheering louder than she meant to. Mark clapped too, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. After the ceremony, families gathered outside under a wide blue sky. Laughter mixed with music from a portable speaker. Parents hugged their children. Photos snapped from every angle. Lily posed with friends, tossing her cap into the air, her joy effortless. Emily watched, her heart full. This was the moment she had waited for. This was the reward for every long night, every quiet compromise. Then Mark spoke. "Emily," he said, his tone sharp enough to cut through the noise. "We need to talk right now." She turned to him, confused. "Can it wait?" she asked softly, glancing at Lily. "No," he said, "it can't." The people nearby slowed their conversations. Few looked over, sensing tension. Emily felt her pulse quicken. Mark straightened his shoulders as if preparing for a presentation. "I can't keep living like this," he announced, louder than needed. "I'm leaving this marriage." The words landed like a sudden drop, stealing the air from Emily's lungs. For a moment, she couldn't hear anything else. The world seemed to pause, every sound pushed far away. "What?" she whispered. Mark continued, his voice steady, almost practiced. "I've been unhappy for a long time. I don't think it's fair to pretend anymore." Emily felt heat rush to her face. Round them, silence spread. Lily turned, her smile fading as she realized what was happening. "Dad?" Lily said, her voice uncertain. Emily's mind raced. Not here, not today. She had imagined many ways this marriage might end, but never this. Never in front of their daughter. Never on a day meant to celebrate beginnings. Mark avoided Lily's eyes. "We'll talk later," he said. Emily's hands trembled, but she held herself upright. Years of holding things together had taught her how to stay calm, even when everything inside was breaking. She took a slow breath. She reached into her purse. Her fingers closed around the envelope she had placed there that morning, not knowing why she felt she needed it so close. It was simple, unmarked. She had sealed it weeks ago, after one quiet night when the truth finally became clear. She stepped closer to Mark. "If you're going to do this," Emily said, her voice calm, almost gentle, "then you should take this." Mark frowned. "What is that?" "Something you asked for a long time ago," she replied. He hesitated, then took the envelope. His confidence wavered for the first time. Glanced around, aware now of the watching eyes, the heavy silence. Emily felt Lily move closer beside her. She placed a hand on her daughter's back, steadying them both. Mark opened the envelope. As his eyes moved across the page, his expression changed. The certainty drained from his face, replaced by shock, then something close to fear. His grip tightened, paper shaking in his hands. "What is this?" he asked quietly. Emily didn't answer. She didn't need to. Everything she had carried alone for years was there in ink and signatures. Clear and final. Mark looked up at her, searching her face as if seeing her for the first time. The crowd remained silent, the moment stretching, thick with unspoken truth. Emily met his gaze, steady and unafraid. And for the first time in a long while, she knew exactly where she stood.